Is your dog anxious, fearful, or always on edge and you're feeling overwhelmed because you're trying to help them? If you're nodding your head right now, I want you to know you're definitely not alone. I know how lonely it can feel. Today, I'm going to share 3 simple ways you can start to help your anxious or fearful dog to feel a little bit safer, because truly that's what it's all about. And honestly, these tips can change your entire relationship with your dog. And so definitely continue to tune in. I work with so many families who love their dogs like crazy, and I know they love their dogs. There's no questions about that. But what I notice is that they feel a lack of knowing what to do. You may feel completely stuck when fear or anxiety shows up, because that's just something that you may not be used to dealing with. And honestly, it can be heartbreaking. It can feel heartbreaking as well, because you want to help, right? You're doing the best you can, and it just feels like nothing's working. And that's where you're at. Take a deep breath. If that's where you're at, just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. There are small changes that you can actually do today that's going to create change over time. It's not about fixing everything overnight, because as we know as humans, changes overnight don't last long term. It's about building trust and doing it one small moment at a time. And if you're already on the right path, you already are. I can tell you that because you are here. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 3 powerful steps. First, how to create a sense of safety for your dog every single day. Second, how to start reshaping how they see the world, because that's going to be very important if they're fearful or anxious. And third, how to build confidence without them feeling overwhelmed, because fearful, anxious dog, they can get overwhelmed quickly. These are the simple changes, but they are deep and they're going to make an emotional impact. Let's just jump right into it, and let me not waste your time. Let's start with the first one. You want to create a predictable routine. Anxious dogs crave structure, predictability. They want to feel safe. When it feels like it's random, walks sometimes happen, feeding times all over the place, new people showing up without warning, it keeps their stress level constantly high. Their nervous system never gets a break, ever. When you add simple anchors into their day, you lower their background anxiety. When I mean anchors, I'm talking about morning potty and breakfast routines at the same time. Walks happen predictably at the same time. And calm evenings and predictable wind downs, they all happen at the same time. And again, you're probably thinking like, I do take my dog out at the same time. What I mean is it doesn't have to be strict. It just needs to be or feel familiar to your dog. So if you have an 8 to 1 time frame, that's fine. I notice this more when there is a big change, such as summertime comes, spring comes, and there's a change in the outside, there's more people out, or maybe kids are home from school. You can imagine being dropped into a country where you don't speak the language and every day is totally unpredictable. You too would feel a little bit anxious. Having predictability is going to build safety with your dog, and safety is going to build that confidence. And if you only do this one thing this week, right, you're going to start with a basic routine. It's the fastest way to lower your dog's stress. If there's one thing that you have that she's not on routine, like if your dog's going eating at different times a day, maybe tomorrow you set them up to eat at 8, 12, and 5. You know your dog's schedule, but just start putting one thing on routine so your dog understand when that's going to happen. Again, we can decrease the anxiety level. Second, help your dog build positive associations. Fearful dogs are often wired to expect the worst. You can't even blame them. Even noise, every movement, new experiences, the brain goes, is this dangerous? And our job is to slowly retrain them that the brain thinks maybe that's a good thing that's happening here. Ideally, if a dog is nervous or anxious, maybe they had a bad experience. Of course, everything they hear, they're going to think like something's going on, especially what they hear similar to what's making them anxious or nervous. For example, imagine if your dog hears a loud truck rumble and then starts to stiffen up. At that moment, instead of waiting for them to recover and be brave, you immediately start to toss a treat or invite them to a happy play session. You're not bribing them, because I do get that a lot. What you're doing is you're pairing the scary thing with something positive. For instance, if I'm afraid of spiders, right? But if someone's like, Pam, I'm going to give you $1 million every time you go 5 feet with another spider, I would be a millionaire. So when we say parent good things with the things they don't like, that just making them understand that, hey, when you see these things happen, you'll get like a treat. You'll get wonderful things. You want to pair it with what you know that your dog will like and enjoy. And what happens over time, their brain goes, truck, equals scary to truck equals treat. And there's actual science behind this. And the best part is you can do it casually. You can do it all day long. Treats aren't the only reward, by the way. Play, affection, happy praise all counts too. Because I hear a lot like, oh, is my dog going to be on treats forever? No, we're just paying them really, really well now to get them to understand the behaviors we want. And you don't have to fix everything in one outing or at one time. Like I said, think of every small positive parent like depositing it into your dog's emotional bank account, all right? Small bits and pieces at a time. And 3, respect your dog's threshold. Threshold is just a fancy way of saying how close can my dog get before they get really uncomfortable. You know your dog better than I do, but you don't want to wait till they're submersed in that uncomfortable situation. You want to kind of gauge. And if we push them past that line where they're uncomfortable, we accidentally teach them that the world is scary and that they can't trust us to protect them. And that's where that guilt and that worst feeling comes in, and we don't want that. For example, if your dog's scared of strangers, don't force them to greet people. Instead, let them watch from a distance, give them space, and give them choice. They have choices. You would never want anyone to force you to do something you didn't want to do. Give your dog that choice. If they're moving away, let them go away. If they want to move closer, great. That's okay too. The more your dog understands that you're trying to protect them and you're going to be there to make it a safe space for them, they'll start to trust you and maybe move forward with things they're scary with because they know that you're going to have their back. When you respect your dog's boundaries, you're sending a powerful message to them. I see you, I hear you, I got your back. And that's when the real growth starts. Like I said, progress doesn't always have to look like getting closer. Sometimes progress looks like the dog feeling safe and just being there to exist near something scary without reacting. Just seeing what they're basically the whole goal. If your dog's afraid of people is not like, they're gonna meet people one day. Just them seeing people over time, they will get to meet them, but it doesn't all have to happen at once. Let's just do a quick recap. So you're going to create a simple, predictable routine. Remember, just choose one thing that's not in a routine and start that. Build positive associations with things that feel scary. And so giving your dog something good around things that may feel a little bit scary to them. So they'll start to think like, oh, good things happen. Respect your dog's threshold and lead them and let them lead the pace when they're feeling nervous and anxious, just in general. These are not just training tips, they're relationship builders. I'm a firm believer in getting to know your dog emotionally before training or things like that, because a lot of times your dogs are speaking to you more than you even know, and small shifts practiced consistently small shifts, if you practice them consistently, can change how your dog sees the world and how your dog actually sees you. If you found these tips helpful and you want to dive deeper into working through anxiety and fear, I do have a free resource guide, a guide to help you train your fearful dog or stressed dog on the website. You can go to downforpaws.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure you follow and subscribe to the podcast, and I will see you next week.